the Browns versus the Pittsburgh Steelers. It's the Browns versus the Pittsburgh Steelers. This is the second meeting for the Browns versus the Steelers in the regular season. And I do think after the Browns beating the Steelers in their last game, it's going to be amazing to see. It's going to be amazing to see these two teams match up because these two teams are in the same division, And it's going to be interesting to see what both of these teams can do. From a standpoint, on one hand, you got the Browns coming off a loss to the Denver Broncos. And I think that was a kind of like, okay, we got the Steelers next. But I think if the Browns won that game against the Denver Broncos, I think the Browns, we would be sitting here, we would say that the Browns would won this game, would won that game against the Denver Broncos. But now that they're facing the Pittsburgh Steelers again, I think that the way that Jameis is playing, and the way that we saw a Browns team that put up 32 points or 38 points against the Denver Broncos, who's going to make the playoffs. The Steelers are probably going to make the playoffs too. Well, let me rephrase that. The Steelers are probably going to make the playoffs. And I'm just going to say this. It's that if the Browns can beat the Steelers again, like we can go way back to last year when let me get the elephant out of the room. We can go back to last year when the Steelers won the first game last year. I can't remember the score from that game, but the Steelers won that game last year. To now, and then the last meeting, the Browns won that game. Because I remember, I'm so glad that Nick Chubb is 100% and back for the Browns. Because the last meeting against the Pittsburgh Steelers for the Browns, that was a game for Nick Chubb. And a good game for Nick Chubb coming back. Because last year, we all know that Nick Chubb went down in that injury from Fitzpatrick. I think that if you ask me that if Nick Chubb's going to have a good game going into the Pittsburgh Steelers home, which this is still a division game. Like if the Steelers make this a flip series, which they dropped the game to the Browns, is what I mean. And then if this is a flip series where the Steelers win this game and the Browns won the other game, like it was last year, which I hope that the Browns win both games against the Steelers this year. Even though that we're 3-9, we still got a good team. But this matchup will be interesting. But guys, sub if you're new and never give up your dreams. And I hope all of you guys are safe out there. And stay blessed, everybody, and peace.